What is going on, good people? We are back for NXT reviews again. Uh, we're a little bit late. We usually do it on Thursdays, but stuff happens. But we're back. We didn't do last week because we forgot. We gonna be honest, we forgot. And usual end of the year, beginning of the year is a lot of recaps and stuff anyway. So we didn't expect anything important to happen. But anyway,
I think we did miss the what was it, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano cage match? I think was that last week because I think I watched last week's show in anticipation for a review or in expectation for a review, and I don't think we did. I just don't think we did one.
oh, I don't know. I'll have to watch it, but maybe we did. I don't
I
know.
think it was. I can't remember right off.
Oh well, did we miss that? Oh well. But overall thoughts on this show before we get into it. Kind of thought it was a little underwhelming. Um, there were cool parts and good build up for um Takeover Phoenix, but it felt to me. DJ.
I totally disagree. I think it was a great show. Which it's weird. Usually I'm the one on the end. It's disappointing to portion of this, but I I just think the matches were good. There were matches that actually meant something and actually stood for something. Um, and I think that's what made me actually enjoy it this week. And even some of the segments, at least the segments were worth something. There was a reason behind them. And some of them were just funny. So I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it actually.
Yeah. So opens up with a basically opening promo featuring Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, Tommaso Ciampa, and Aleister Black, basically building up matches for NXT Phoenix. So I'm definitely excited. They're teasing or building up a North American Championship match, Gargano versus Ricochet, which I think will be a really good match. Definitely excited for that one. And then I guess Ciampa versus Black, which also will be a good match. So I'm definitely excited for those. I'm excited for Phoenix coming up. So it feels like it's been a while since we've had a takeover, and that is how takeovers are. They're not every month like normal pay per view, so it kind of builds up. But it feels like it's been like extra long since we've had a takeover, and it probably wasn't even that long ago. But
I think it was November. Because it would have been
probably,
Survivor Series
yeah,
weekend. So yeah, it was like end of November, something like that.
yeah. Uh, Thoughts on the opening promo segment?
It was good. I enjoyed it. I'm excited for this whole thing. I think it's cool to see Ricochet talking. Because I think from what I've seen of him, I haven't seen a lot of his promos and a lot of him on the mic, and I think that's because half of the time he was Prince Puma when I knew him, so it wasn't a talking role. So I I don't know, like, or it wasn't much of a talking role at least. I mean, or he had a manager that would talk for him. And I think it's good because I think sometimes we get so lost in the fact that these wrestlers are wrestlers and that they're good in the ring that I think sometimes we lose sight that they can talk to because I think sometimes we don't get both. A lot of times we get somebody that's good in the ring but not necessarily a good talker. But I think this kind of newer, I guess we can still kind of call them a newer crop of NXT talent like Adam Cole and Ricochet, EC3, guys like that, are guys who can go in the ring and talk. And that's not necessarily to an offense of the previous guys, but it's like these are guys from the Indies that are kind of translating to this big camera style. This there's cameras everywhere. There's always a camera in your face in some form or fashion, and you have to step up and make sure that's entertaining. And I like that.
Yeah. So we've gone to our first match was Bianca Belair versus Nikki Cross. Um, this wasn't a bad match. It was definitely a good match. I just personally, I couldn't get into it because with the build up to her big match at Takeover against Shayna Baszler, I knew Bianca Belair wasn't going to lose this match. There's no way they were going to have her lose this match in the build up to that big championship match. So it kind of, from that aspect, I couldn't get into it, but it was definitely a good match. You know, these two are great in the ring. I have no idea what they're doing with Nikki Cross because, like, is she on the main roster? Is she not? Like, is she going to the main roster? There's a lot of guys. It felt like tonight they were like, well, they're going up to the main roster, but they're unfinished business here. And I'm like, then why are they going to the main? What? Um, but definitely a good match. Just I wish it wasn't as predictable, personally. DJ?
Yeah, they always tend to do that. They always tend to do that thing where like they bring somebody up to the main roster, but they still got tapings left, so they toss them in matches beforehand, and that's kind of like you said. That was the weird thing with Nikki Cross is like she's going up to the main roster, but you still got her having matches in NXT, and it's like what's the benefit of her winning in NXT when she's going to the main roster anyway? Plus, like you said, with Bianca Belair having a title match against Shayna Baszler, she's not going to lose. But I did think it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I think these two they have different styles of a showy style, I guess. Whereas, Bianca Belair is obviously showy and flamboyant in her ways, but Nikki Cross is showy in the mental, the mental game, the getting into your head type of a thing. So I think that kind of made this a good match. I wish this was a match that was like a number one contenders match or a match that really meant something, because it was a good match to have on the card, but at the same time, like like you said, and we both kind of mentioned, it just felt like it was just there. Even though it was a good match, it was just there as far as the result of the match.
Yeah. Then, oh baby, we started off 2K19 with the Street Profits, baby. Oh, I'm so excited, man. We got Street Talk season 3 coming back, and they gonna get them tag team titles. They gonna get them tag. They not. They not. They gonna try to get them tag team titles. They might get a tag team title shot, maybe. Didn't we start off 2018 with them like hyped up as like this next big team?
I think this was the same exact promo from back then.
It was.
Well, because Angelo Dawkins even said 2018. like I was listening to it, I'm like, this is the same promo from last year. Because it was good though. It was funny. I liked it. Like, I don't know why they're not trying to push the Street Profits more. I like and push the little skits and segments that they do more. Because it does give NXT a unique feel. It's almost like comedic relief, but not in a bad way, not in a way of like, oh, I don't want to watch this because it's comedic relief. It's like, these guys could actually win the titles if they actually got a chance for the titles. And I like their gimmick, too. So it kind of I like it, but at the same time, it's like you said, like what in the world? What are they going to do with the Street Profits? Because they haven't done anything with them yet. So what's for us to believe that they're going to do something with them now? And I guess once they start bringing people up, then you kind of have no choice, And I guess we're kind of seeing that now with the women's division. You're kind of seeing a little bit more different people coming into the fold because they have no choice because they're bringing them all up.
Yeah. But that hat though, that Ford hat on, like this man trying to run with that hat, you can't do that. And that I was trying to call DJ last night about this match, and he would not answer me. Somebody explain to me how Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel got a jobber match where they weren't the jobbers. What? We got Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel versus Kunzman, I think was, and what? I don't know. At least give them like the nameplates so we know what their names are. Like, come on now. Um, yeah, I was thoroughly confused, and they were building them up like they're a big, team and they're a big threat. And I'm like, did I miss something on NXT UK? Because last time I saw it, these guys was losing to everybody, like everybody, and now they have badass tag team. Okay, okay, guys, okay. But it was actually a really good match. I liked it. I think I don't know if it was that it was a really good match or it was we finally got to see kind of what Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel can do when they're not getting destroyed or people are not forgetting that Fabian Eichner was in the Cruiserweight Classic. Yeah, DJ.
Yeah, I was kind of thrown off by this too because, like you said, they got this big elaborate entrance, and even the commentators were trying to play it up, and I'm like, nah, like nah. But yeah, we do kind of forget Fabian Action was in the Cruiserweight Classic, but that's like the last actual thing he's done that's been worth a darn. So I can't really forget it because it's like that's the last thing he's legit actually done that's been anything to root home about. I liked him as a tag team, and I think this match was good because the Jobbers actually did some stuff. Like the Jobbers had their little bit of a run, and they did some cool moves that looked cool and that looked good, and stuff like that. Like they had something to prove or something, and that was cool. Because a lot of times, especially with big tag teams, because that's kind of what Fabian. I mean, obviously Fabian Eichner is more of a hybrid type guy, but he's huge. So like the big teams always tend to just dominate. So I think it was cool to see the other, the kind of jobber team come out and make their way. I know jobber is somewhat of an offensive term for some people, but I'm going to continue to say it on the show. With no regard for human life.
I mean, and this might just be because I've been training for a while, but like it's not even really an offensive term if you think about it, because yeah, you're jobbing and you're losing, but like you're getting experience out there. You're getting a chance to work in WWE. You're getting a chance to be seen by millions of people. Yeah, you're
No,
losing.
wait,
But, like,
sorry, I forgot. It's only offensive if I call Justin a jobber. My bad.
true. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, then the main event. I'm gonna give this one to DJ. Got EC3 versus Adam Cole, baby. And Emma thinks he is a beautiful, beautiful man.
I mean, if I could get hair like Adam Cole, but I can't, so I'm not even gonna try it. Not even gonna anyway. Trying to flip the hair, I just don't have no hair to flip, so my head just moving like a bad dance or something. But anyway, Adam Cole versus EC3. I was excited about this match. I was, because I feel like EC3 has been there, but at the same time, he hasn't. He hasn't done anything in NXT really. Like he's had a couple of vignettes and a couple of little like small 2-week feuds or something, but he really hasn't done anything. I don't think he's been on a takeover. And he really hasn't had a lot of matches. He's just kind of been there. And like the way they promote him like he's there every week. They promote him like he's like such a big deal. And don't get me wrong, I love EC3 and I think he is, but to the NXT audience, he hasn't really been there, I don't think. Maybe he's been there at more live shows than I think or whatever. And I know he's going up to the main roster too, so it's kind of a weird dynamic with this, but I thought this was good. I liked it. I always love EC3 in the ring. And obviously Adam Cole is one of the best. I love Adam Cole so much. And I just think it made for a good match. It made for a good quality match. I don't think the match really meant anything. It was just like, oh, EC3 is going to the main roster. Let's give him a good match to go to the main roster on. I do have, and we can kind of discuss this after you give your thoughts on this match. I do have a bone to pick with WWE about the main roster call-ups, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. But overall, I thought the match was good. I enjoyed it, and I'm liking the Undisputed Era. more and more, because I think we're getting to see them individually as far and as well as tag teams and as well as a group. So I think it's been good so far, and I can't wait till they go to the main roster. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I definitely I like the match. It was in a way kind of one of those like dream matches,
Yeah,
because you have the kind of the top guy who was the top guy from Impact for so many years there, and then you have the kind of the top guy from like Ring of Honor that we never quite got to see, face off, and now we get to see them face off, which was
you
cool.
know, you know what I really like to see. Speaking of Undisputed Era, when they finally come up, and I know we don't want to see a Shield reunion again, but it would be cool to see them like take down the Shield, maybe even like once and for all type of a thing,
Yeah,
or something like that. I think that would be cool.
yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, and it was unique because it was almost flipped. Like back in Impact, like the numbers game would be something EC3 would do with whoever his bodyguard or whatever was, and now it was Adam Cole, and EC3 is more of the face in this whole thing. Um, and I like how he's kind of facing all the members of um the Undisputed Era because of what they did to him. So that was definitely kind of cool. But I liked it. I'm curious to see kind of what they're doing with him, if he's gonna have a match on NXT or on Takeover Phoenix, or if they're just gonna call him up before that. But I liked it. DJ?
One thing I about the call ups, I hate that they announced them all. Like I thought that was the dumb like that was the dumbest thing ever. Like maybe like I mean they had so many. Maybe like they literally announced everybody who's coming up from NXT. And I thought that was dumb because you got Royal Rumble coming up and that's where we want to see all these big surprises. Like we want to see, EC3 debut and we want to see who Nikki I can't remember who the other one who the there was a female that was coming too. I can't remember right off. But anyway, we want to see these guys debut on the main roster, but we want to be surprised by it. Like I mean, a couple of them, yeah, you can kind of give them the typical like they're coming soon, but like why all of them? That was like my big bone to pick with WWE about the way they did this is like why not make some of them? I think they all should have been a surprise, but why not make at least some of them be a surprise?
Yeah, I can see that, and even if like you know for the tag teams, like Heavy Machinery, you could have done something where whatever show they were going to, I forgot if they went to Raw or SmackDown. But the tag team champions can say, okay, we beat everybody in Raw or SmackDown or whatever, and then they come out and have that surprise debut without saying, oh, all these people are coming. Like they literally like had a video package that had like back to back every single person that was coming to WWE, which is one thing I don't like, and it's a little thing. It's like coming to WWE, and I'm like, you're already in WWE. Isn't NXT a part of? How long? Am I confused? Like, bruh. But was there any other promos? Because I didn't go through all like the promos and stuff on this show. Anything else you want
um,
to talk about on
not,
this?
not really. I'm still liking Bianca Belair a lot. Lacey Evans, I think, was the one I was thinking about that was coming up, which
I think.
which was kind of surprising. It was kind of surprising to see her come up so fast. But yeah, she was one. But the Bianca Belair promo I thought was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I want to see what they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna take the title off Shayna Baszler yet. Um, but it's nice to see somebody different, and kind of somebody like we've talked about it before. Um, somebody who actually feels like they could beat Shayna Baszler. Like she actually feels like she has the attitude and the confidence to step up to Shayna Baszler and actually beat her instead of like Kyrie Sane, for example, who I think is great, but who doesn't always have the believability on their side.
Yeah. I also liked Keith Lee's promo or
That
interview.
man huge. Like I know I could always see the man's shoulders, but like the man got like colossal shoulders. Like I'm scared. Like the man a big fella.
So I guess last week Cassius Ohno beats or was beaten by um, Matt Riddle and then attacked Matt Riddle after the match or something.
Yeah.
I saw the recap and I hate when they do this because yeah, like okay, a lot of these guys are friends in real life, but they're like, oh well, Keith Lee, you know, you're best friends with Matt Riddle, and I'm like, when have they ever shown that on NXT? Like, it just it's a logical thing. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, yes, a lot of these guys are friends in real life. They've all traveled the roads together and done tons of shows together. But like, it just there's a disconnect there for me that they
Yeah.
need to like add into the show and be like, okay, yeah, they are best friends or
You
whatever.
know, speaking of Cash Sono and maybe a discussion that we could have sometime in the near future is WWE necessarily doing enough um, to keep guys around, and that's in multiple ways. That's keeping them physically in shape. Because like I know that's your choice, but you're keeping Cash Zona on the roster. Why don't I don't understand why they don't at least put him on some sort of plan so he's not getting made fun of for having a belly or something. Like I just I think that's a discussion that we probably should have on another video. Because and we talked about it before, like with like Ronda Rousey and like some people who weren't necessarily ready, even like an Eva Marie or something like that. Is WWE putting their whole arsenal into it to say we're gonna make sure that you get better instead of just like, well, get better, and if you don't, oh well, and that's I've always wondered that because like at Walmart, for example, for you in this case, if you're not doing your job properly or you were disrespectful to a customer, they're not gonna be like, well, he'll learn. Like they're gonna tell you like maybe you should say it this way instead of that way. And does WWE really do that? And I'm kind of curious about that. Does WWE take the necessary steps to make sure people are comfortable in the ways they need to be?
And I also want to, and this is what I thought you meant, but I also want to do a video on this. Are are they doing everything to keep guys on their roster, to keep people in WWE? Because and there's been millions of posts about AEW coming out, but there was one. I'm not gonna mention names on Twitter because I'm not gonna start any like beef with anybody. But it's a female, and she's a WWE mark, and she says something about oh, these guys who couldn't hack it or couldn't do it in WWE are gonna, go make their own company and be so great. And I was like,
Don't people always say that?
these
Impact
guys,
sign someone.
yeah,
Oh, no. Yeah.
like these guys literally left WWE. Some of them are doing so much better for themselves, getting paid more than they did in WWE on the independents. They just sold out a major arena for a pay-per-view that they paid for themselves, and now they're starting a promotion. And you're saying they couldn't make it in WWE? A lot of times and yes, there are guys, and I don't want to get too much because we want to have the discussion, but there's guys like R-Truth who loves what he's doing. He's happy. He's been in the business for years. But then there's other guys who, yeah, they're in WWE now and it's great, but they're not being used. And some of these guys still want to wrestle. They still want to do what they love to do, what they train most of their lives to do. And some of them might want to see, better, their options outside of WWE. So like what is WWE doing to keep those guys in other than obviously the contract that they're stuck in? Is WWE doing enough to say, okay, yeah, there's so many other opportunities out there, but this is why you should stay here, that kind of a thing. But anything else before we leave the good people?
I think we're good.
All right, so we'll have those discussions out eventually, hopefully soon. But tomorrow is the NXT UK pay-per-view takeover. I forgot where the takeover is. Somewhere in
London? Ain't it London? Blackpool.
Blackpool. Yeah. So we'll have that maybe tomorrow night or Sunday. Well, try to have that out. I don't know if we're gonna do a weekly UK show like review, because it's hard to do with everything else we have to do. But we'll definitely still do the UK takeovers and that stuff like that. But we'll have obviously Impact is coming back too, the discussions, everything like that. But as usual, hit that subscribe button. Give us a follow on Twitter at ICW_podcast. And we will see you on the flippity dippity.